This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, students. Last class, I explained the integration of dynamic equation of gradually varied flow. We know that in gradually varied flow, we have water surface profiles in open channels, either in the major artificial channels or in the natural rivers. The water surface profiles will exist. To find out that length of the water surface profiles, either on the upstream side of the weirs or on the upstream side of the dams, to find out that length of water surface profile, we need that integration of dynamic equation of gradually varied flow. And in that integration of dynamic equation of gradually varied flow, last class I explained the single step method of integration. I also provided the video lecture of that single step method of integration to find out the length of water surface profile in the open channels. Then in unit 2, after that, integration of dynamic equation of gradually varied flow in unit 2. The next concept is momentum of water flow in open channels. From that momentum concept, we are going to discuss the specific force of water flow in open channels. Please check this slide on your cell phones. Any one of you give me the response? Can you hear my voice clearly? Any one of you give me the response? Can you hear my voice clearly? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, everyone, check this slide on your cell phones. In this concept, I am going to explain you the momentum, linear momentum. The linear momentum of water flow in open channels. From that momentum concept, we are going to discuss the specific force of water flow in open channels. In unit 1, we discuss specific energy in open channels. Whereas in unit 2, for gradually varied flow, we have the another important concept, the specific force of the water flow in open channels. So I am going to explain that specific force of water flow in gradually varied flow in open channels. Now, you might have studied in the lower classes physics, especially in physics subjects. You might have studied in the lower classes when a body is in moving condition with some velocity v. If a body is in moving condition, let m is the mass of the body. If that body is moving with velocity v meter per second, then that moving body is having the property called linear momentum. Linear momentum is the property of moving body. If m is the mass of that moving body, v is the velocity of that moving body, then for that moving body, the linear momentum indicated as p. P is the symbol for that linear momentum. The linear momentum of moving body is equal to mass of the body into velocity of the body. This is the equation for linear momentum of moving body. We know that in open channels, the water is in flowing condition. Since the water in open channels is in moving condition, if m is the mass of water flow in the open channel, v is the velocity of water flow in the open channel. Here v is mean velocity of water flow in the open channel. M is the mass of water flow in the open channel. For that water flow, the linear momentum is given by mass of that water flow into velocity of water flow. M into V is called the linear momentum of the water flow in open channel. Now coming to this further discussion. Here the equation of linear momentum of water flow in open channel, P is equal to mass of the water flow m into velocity of this water flow. Now in that open channel, let A is the wetted area of water flow. In that open channel, A is the wetted area of water flow, L is the length of water flow. If A is the wetted area, L is the length, then the volume of water flow in the open channel, volume is equal to area into length. So in that open channel, the volume of water flow is equal to area into length. Take rho is the density of water. Take this rho as the density. I hope you know the definition of density. Density is equal to mass by volume. That is the definition of density. So rho is the density of water. That density of water is equal to mass of water divided by volume of water. So this rho is equal to mass of water is m, volume of water is A into L. So the density of that water flow is equal to rho, that is equal to m, that is mass divided by area into length, that is volume. So rho is equal to m divided by A into L. From that you will get this mass of water flow, m is equal to the mass of water flow is equal to density rho into volume of water A into L. So the mass of water flow in the open channel m is equal to density of water rho into volume of water A into L. Substitute this mass m is equal to rho AL in this momentum equation. The momentum equation P is equal to rho density of water into A wetted area of water flow into L length of water flow into mean velocity V. This is the equation of the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel in terms of the density of the water flow rho, the wetted area of water flow A, the length of the water flow L, and the mean velocity of water flow V. So in the today's class, I am going to discuss with you the momentum of water flow in open channel. From that, I am going to explain the specific force of water flow in open channels. To discuss that momentum of water flow in the open channel, we consider the water flow in the open channel. Let V is the mean velocity of water flow in the open channel. M is the mass of water flow in the open channel. Then the linear momentum of that water flow in the open channel is given by P is equal to mass into velocity m into V. Then in that open channel, take A is the wetted area of water flow, L is the length of water flow, then the volume of water flow in the open channel is equal to area into length, A into L, that is volume. Let rho is the density of water flow in the open channel. Density is equal to mass by volume. So mass is equal to density into volume. So the mass of water flow in the open channel is equal to m, that is equal to density rho into volume A into L. Substitute this mass in this linear momentum equation. The linear momentum of water flow in the open channel is given by P is equal to density of water flow rho into area A into length L into velocity V. This is the density, the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel. P is equal to density of water rho into wetted area of water A into length of water L into the velocity of water flow V. That is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel. Now coming to this continuation. If, please follow this, if W is the unit weight of water. I hope in fluid mechanics you studied the properties of water. Water is having the density. Water is having the unit weight. The unit weight of water is indicated as small w. I hope you know the relationship. The unit weight of water is equal to density of water into acceleration due to gravity. That is the relationship. The relationship between the unit weight of water and density of water. The unit weight of water is equal to density of water into acceleration due to gravity. So W, small w, this is the unit weight of water. This W, the unit weight of water is equal to density rho into acceleration due to gravity z, rho into z. From that relation, you can write the density of water. The density of water rho is equal to unit weight of water W divided by z, acceleration due to gravity. So the density of water rho is equal to W by z. W is the unit weight of water. Substitute this density rho is equal to W by z in the linear momentum equation here. On the right hand side, this density of water rho is equal to W by z, unit weight of water divided by acceleration due to gravity. This momentum P is equal to, now this momentum P is equal to W into A into L into V divided by Z. W is the unit weight of water. A is the area of water flow. L is the length of water flow. V is the mean velocity of water flow divided by acceleration due to gravity. That is the linear momentum of this water flow. So check these equations. The linear momentum P is equal to mass into velocity. The linear momentum P is equal to density into area into length into velocity. This linear momentum P is also equal to, this P is also equal to unit weight W into A into L into V divided by Z. This is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel. Now find out the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. Per unit time. Just now I explained this linear momentum of water flow P. This linear momentum of water flow P is equal to W, unit weight of water, into A into L into V by Z. This is the linear momentum of water flow. WALV by Z is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel. But I am calculating the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. This per unit time indicates, divide this linear momentum P with the time. Divide this linear momentum P with the time, you will get the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. So the linear momentum divided by time, this is the equation. We know that the linear momentum in the open channel WALV by Z. Since we are calculating the linear momentum per unit time, divide the linear momentum with the time. So WALV by Z into time is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. Then in this right hand side, check this right hand side, length by time. L is the length of water flow divided by time. Length by time is the velocity. Length by time is velocity. So this right hand side changes as the unit weight W into wetted area A into length by time is velocity V. Length by time is velocity V into velocity V divided by acceleration due to gravity Z. So here the length by time is velocity V. So the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time is equal to the unit weight of water W into wetted area A into V into V is V square. This V into V is V square divided by Z. That is this linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. So here check that equation carefully. The linear momentum of water flow per unit time is equal to this unit weight of water W into, check this numerator carefully, A into V, area into velocity discharge Q. You know that the area of water flow into velocity of water flow is discharge Q into velocity V divided by acceleration due to gravity Z. This W is unit weight of water. Q is the discharge of water flow. V is the mean velocity of water flow divided by acceleration due to gravity. This is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. We know that this velocity V is equal to discharge by area Q by A. So substitute this velocity V as Q by A. This equation becomes as the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time is equal to W unit weight of water into Q discharge into, substitute this V as Q by A. So in the numerator Q into Q, Q square. So check this numerator carefully. The linear momentum of water flow per unit time in the open channel is equal to the unit weight of water W, then the discharge Q, and I am replacing this velocity V with Q by A. So in the numerator Q into Q, Q square divided by, in the denominator G into A. This is W Q square by ZA. W is the unit weight of water. Q is the discharge of water flow in the open channel. A is the wetted area. This is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. So in open channels, the linear momentum of water flow per unit time is equal to W Q square by ZA. W is the unit weight of water, Q is the discharge of water flow, A is the wetted area. Dear students, up to this equation of P, this P is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. Up to this equation of P, W Q square by ZA, if anybody is having the doubts or unable to understand, please discuss with me. Up to this derivation of P, W Q square by ZA, if anybody is having doubts, please discuss with me. Any doubts, students, up to the derivation of P, W Q square by ZA? If you have any doubts, you please discuss with me. If there is no doubts, at least post that in the chat group. Okay, thank you. So in the today's class, we started the momentum of water flow in the open channel. So in this beginning, I explained what is that linear momentum of water flow in the open channel. The linear momentum of water flow, P is equal to mass of water flow into velocity of water flow. Then we calculate this mass of water flow in terms of density. Mass is equal to density into volume. So the linear momentum of water flow in terms of density is equal to, P is equal to rho AL. This is mass. density into volume is mass, rho al into velocity v. But this rho is equal to unit weight divided by acceleration due to gravity. So this linear momentum P is equal to the unit weight W into A into L into V divided by acceleration due to gravity Z. Then we calculated the linear momentum of water flow per unit time in the open channel. Since we consider this per unit time, divide this linear momentum with respect to time. The linear momentum is unit weight WALV by Z. Because of this per unit time, divide that linear momentum with the time. Then length by time is velocity V. So the linear momentum of water flow per unit time in the open channel is equal to W. This is the unit weight of water. W into A into length by time is V into velocity V divided by acceleration due to gravity Z. Area into velocity is discharge Q. So the linear momentum of water flow per unit time in the open channel P is equal to W Q V by Z. But this velocity V is equal to discharge by area. So this equation is modified as WQ square by ZA. This is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. Now coming to the Newton's second law. Most of you studied this Newton's second law in physics. Normally, when I ask you what is Newton's second law, you will give the answer F is equal to ma. That is not the Newton's second law. Please remember the statement of Newton's second law. Newton's second law statement is when the force is acting on the body, the rate of change of linear momentum of body is proportional to the force acting on the body. So the Newton's second law is not F is equal to ma. That is equation. But the mathematical statement of Newton's second law is the rate of change of linear momentum of body is equal to the resultant of all forces acting on the body. I hope you remember the Newton's second law. F proportional to dp bar by dt. In terms of vectors, the Newton's second law, F bar proportional to dp bar by dt. In the scalar form, F proportional to dp by dt. That is Newton's second law. From that F proportional to dp by dt, you will get that equation F is equal to ma. So the Newton's second law is the rate of change of linear momentum of moving body is directly proportional to the resultant of all forces acting on the body. That is statement of Newton's second law. Now apply that Newton's second law statement for the water flow in open channel. Since the water is in moving condition in the open channel, apply that Newton's second law for the water flow in the open channel. According to that Newton's second law, in open channel water flow, this is the statement of Newton's second law. The rate of change of linear momentum of the body of flowing water. The rate of change of linear momentum of the body of flowing water in open channel is equal to the resultant of all forces acting on that body of water. This is the Newton's second law in open channel water flow. I hope you remember that Newton's second law statement, not the equation, please. F is equal to ma is the equation derived from Newton's second law. But the Newton's second law statement, the rate of change of linear momentum of a body is proportional to the resultant of all forces acting on the body. that is F bar proportional to dP bar by dt. That is the actual Newton's second law. In that Newton's second law, F bar is the resultant force. dP bar by dt is the rate of change of linear momentum of moving body. I am using that Newton's second law for the water flow in open channel. Then according to that Newton's second law, in open channel water flow, the rate of change of linear momentum of the body of water flow in open channel is equal to the resultant of all forces acting on that body of water flow. We are using this Newton's second law here in this concept of specific force. So please keep in mind this Newton's second law for open channel water flow. I am going to discuss this. Just I explain the linear momentum per unit time in open channels. Now I am going to use the Newton's second law for the water flow in open channels. Now consider the open channel having the water flow in the diagram. Dear students, please everyone look this diagram on the cell phones. Give me the response. Is it clear on the cell phones, this diagram? Is this diagram is clear on the cell phones? Any one of you give me the response.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now coming to this Newton's second law in the open channel water flow. So here we consider the small portion of open channel of length L between the section 1, section 2. I consider the small portion of open channel. For this small portion of open channel, I am going to apply the Newton's second law. From section 1, between the section 1, section 2, I am going to apply the Newton's second law statement. Take at section 2, the linear momentum per unit time as P2. At section 2, the linear momentum per unit time as P2. At section 1, the linear momentum per unit time as P1. Just now I explained this linear momentum per unit time equation. We know that the linear momentum per unit time P is equal to unit weight of water W into discharge Q into velocity V divided by acceleration due to gravity Z, W Q V by Z. That is the linear momentum per unit time in open channel water flow. We are going to discuss the Newton's second law application for this water flow in the open channel. I consider the length L of the open channel having this water flow between the section 1 and section 2. At section 2, take the linear momentum of water flow per unit time as P2. At section 1, the linear momentum of water flow per unit time as P1. At section 1, take V1 is the velocity of water flow, Y1 is the depth of water flow. At section 2, V2 is the velocity of water flow, Y2 is the depth of water flow. Then at section 1, take F1 is the hydrostatic force, not the pressure, please. At section 1, this is the hydrostatic pressure distribution at section 1. Let F1 is the hydrostatic pressure, hydrostatic force at section 1. F2 is the hydrostatic force at section 2. This is the pressure distribution at section 2. So check this diagram carefully. At section 2, the linear momentum per unit time of water flow is P2. At section 1, the linear momentum of water flow per unit time is P1. Then between the section 1, section 2, check the parameters. V1 is the velocity of flow at section 1. V2 is the velocity of flow at section 2. Y1 is the depth of flow at section 1. Y2 is the depth of flow at section 2. This is the hydrostatic pressure distribution at section 1, and this is the hydrostatic pressure distribution at section 2. Let F1 is the hydrostatic force at section 1. F2 is the hydrostatic force at section 2. This is the channel bottom. We know that in open channels, we have the friction force acting on the channel bottom. Take that friction force as F, capital F followed by small f. This is the friction force. Take this water body between the section 1, section 2, that the weight of that water body is W. We resolve this weight into component in the direction of flow, that is W sin theta. Theta is angle made by the channel bottom with horizontal, that is angle theta. So the component of this weight W in the direction of water flow, W sin theta. Look at the forces acting on this water body between the section 1 and section 2 in the direction of water flow. In the direction of water flow, this water body subjected to force F1, force F2, force W sin theta, and also the friction force F, that is friction force at the channel bottom. Apply the Newton's second law. Apply the Newton's second law between section 1 and section 2. According to Newton's second law, the rate of change of linear momentum. Rate of change of linear momentum means the linear momentum at section 2 per unit time minus the linear momentum at section 1 per unit time. That is rate of change of linear momentum in the Newton's second law. What is the linear momentum per second at section 1 per unit time at section 2, P2? This is the linear momentum per unit time at section 2, P2. Similarly, at section 1, the linear momentum per unit time is P1. P2 minus P1 is equal to, we know in the previous discussion, I explained the linear momentum per unit time is equal to unit weight of water W into discharge Q into velocity V divided by acceleration due to gravity. So this P2 is equal to W, unit weight of water, into discharge Q into, at section 2, what is the velocity? V2 by Z. This is the linear momentum per unit time at section 2, that is P2. Similarly, at section 1, what is the velocity? V1. So this P1, the linear momentum per unit time at section 1 is the unit weight of water W into discharge Q into velocity V1 by Z. So check this equation carefully. I am using the Newton's second law between the section 1, section 2 in the open channel water flow. At section 2, the linear momentum per unit time P2 is equal to W Q V2 by Z. Q is the discharge of water flow. At section 1, the linear momentum per unit time of water flow is P1. P1 is equal to W, unit weight of water, into discharge Q into velocity V1 by Z. So this is P2 minus P1 equation. This is the rate of change of linear momentum. The linear momentum per unit time at section 2 minus the linear momentum per unit time at section 1. P2 minus P1 is called the rate of change of linear momentum of this water body. According to Newton's second law, the rate of change of linear momentum per unit time between the section 1, section 2 is equal to the resultant force acting on this water body between the section 1 and the section 2. What is the resultant force? Look at the number of forces acting in section 1 and section 2. Between the section 1 and section 2, what are the forces? First force is F1. Between the section 1, section 2, the first force is F1. F1 is the hydrostatic force acting on the section 1. I hope in fluid mechanics, you might have studied in the vertical plane, the magnitude of hydrostatic force is given by, on the vertical plane, What is the magnitude of hydrostatic force equation? Anybody give the answer? What is that magnitude of hydrostatic force? Hydrostatic force from fluid mechanics. Anybody know the answer for that? Please give me the reply. If anybody knows the answer, please give me the reply. What is the hydrostatic force equation for vertical plane in fluid mechanics? You might have studied that hydrostatic force in fluid mechanics on horizontal plane, on vertical plane, and also on inclined plane. What is that equation of hydrostatic force on the vertical plane? Please give me the response. What is the equation of hydrostatic force on the vertical plane?
W into AX bar, sir. Total pressure force, sir.
F is equal to, on the vertical plane, the magnitude of hydrostatic force F is equal to W A into X bar. That is the equation of hydrostatic pressure, hydrostatic force on the vertical plane. This section 1 is a vertical plane. Check this. The section 1 is a vertical plane of depth y1. This is the hydrostatic pressure distribution on that vertical plane. We can convert this hydrostatic pressure distribution into force F1. F1 is the hydrostatic force at section 1. This F1 is equal to W into A into X bar. I will tell that later, but please remember from fluid mechanics knowledge, on the vertical plane, the hydrostatic force F is equal to WA into X bar. W is the unit weight of water, A is the area, X bar is the distance of the centroid from the top water surface. Now check this section 1 and section 2. The forces acting on this water body between the section 1 and section 2 are hydrostatic force F1, hydrostatic force F2, the weight component W sin theta, and the friction force F. These four are the forces acting on this water body between the section 1 and section 2. Apply the Newton's second law. According to Newton's second law, the rate of change of linear momentum is equal to resultant of all forces acting on the body. What is the rate of change of linear momentum between the section 2 section 1? P2 minus P1. This is the rate of change of linear momentum between the section 2 and section 1. P2 is equal to WQ V2 by Z. P1 is equal to WQ V1 by Z. Then between the section 1 section 2, the forces acting on this water body, F1 in the direction of flow positive, F2 opposite to direction of flow negative, W sin theta in the direction of flow positive, friction force opposite to direction of flow negative. This is the Newton's second law applied on this water body in this open channel between the section 1 and section 2. If anybody is having the doubt on this equation, please discuss with me. Dear students, if you have the doubt on that equation, P2 minus P1 is equal to WQ V2 by Z minus WQ V1 by Z is equal to F1 minus F2 plus W sin theta minus the friction force FF. If anybody is having the doubt in that equation, please ask me. Please think this equation, everyone. This is Newton's second law equation. The rate of change of linear momentum is equal to the resultant of all forces. So in this water flow in the open channel between the section 1 section 2, for this water flow in the open channel, I applied the Newton's second law. So I got this equation. If anybody is having the doubt in this equation, please discuss with me. If it is clear, please give me the response. Any doubt, students, on that equation? P2 minus P1 equation. If anybody is having the doubt, please discuss with me. At least give me the response. Is it clear? Or if anybody is having the doubt? Okay, coming to this diagram, please everyone focus on the diagram. On the slide diagram, we consider this water flow in the open channel between the section 1, section 2 in that open channel. This is a small section, not of very large length. This is a small section between the section 1, section 2. This portion is a small portion. In this portion of water flow, we applied this Newton's second law. At section 2, the linear momentum per unit time is P2. That is equal to unit weight of water W into discharge of flow Q into velocity of flow at section 2 V2 by Z. Similarly, at section 1, the velocity of flow is V1. Discharge is same Q. The unit weight of water is W. So at section 1, the linear momentum of water flow per unit time is P1. That is equal to WQ V1 by Z. Then between the section 2 and section 1, the rate of change of linear momentum is P2 minus P1. That is equal to WQ V2 by Z minus WQ V1 by Z. That is equal to, according to Newton's second law, the rate of change of linear momentum between the section 2 and section 1 is equal to the resultant of all forces acting on this water flow from section 1 to section 2. From section 1 to section 2, the forces acting on this water flow at section 1, hydrostatic force F1, at section 2, hydrostatic force F2, and the weight of water component W sin theta followed by friction force. Since this portion of channel is small portion from section 1 to section 2, this small portion of channel, since it is a small portion, neglect the friction force acting on this water body. Since it is a small portion, neglect this friction force acting on the water body. Since it is a small portion, neglect this W sin theta acting on the water body, because it is a small portion. So we neglect this friction force and we neglect this W sin theta on the right hand side. If I neglect these two forces, since it is a small portion from section 1 to section 2, this water body is a small portion, neglect the friction force on the water body, neglect this weight W sin theta on the water body. If I neglect these two values, two forces on the right hand side, this equation becomes as WQ V2 by Z minus WQ V1 by Z is equal to F1 minus F2. So neglect the friction force on the water body, neglect the weight W sin theta on the water body, then the equation becomes as, on the left hand side, WQ V2 by Z minus WQ V1 by Z is equal to, on the right hand side, F1 minus F2. Dear students, everyone, please focus on that force F1. F1 is the hydrostatic force at section 1. Check this diagram, please. Everyone check this diagram. So F1 is the hydrostatic force on section 1. In the vertical plane, section 1 is a vertical plane. In the vertical plane, the hydrostatic force is equal to WA x bar. That is the equation of hydrostatic force on the vertical plane. W is the unit weight of water, A is the area of the vertical plane, x bar is the distance of the centroid from top of water surface. Check this diagram, please. This is the channel at section 1. This is the channel at section 1. What is the area of channel at section 1? A1. What is the depth of flow at section 1? Y1. This is the centroid of water flow at section 1. From this top water surface, that the centroid is at a depth of Z1 bar. From this top water surface, that this centroid at section 1 of the water flow is Z1 bar. Then this force F1, according to fluid mechanics, this force F1 on this vertical plane is equal to W, unit weight of water, into area A1 into this distance of the centroid Z1 bar. So in this diagram at section 1, the hydrostatic force F1 is equal to W, unit weight of water, into area at section 1 A1 bar into this distance of the centroid from water surface Z1 bar. So this force F1 magnitude is equal to W, unit weight of water, into area A1 into Z1 bar. Similarly, coming to section 2, this is the channel at section 2, portion of the channel at section 2. At section 2, take the area of channel is A2, wetted area. Depth of flow is Y2. Take at section 2, the centroid of this water flow at section 2 from this water surface is at a depth of Z2 bar. At section 2, the centroid of water flow from this top water surface is at Z2 bar distance. Then this force F2, hydrostatic force F2 on this vertical plane at section 2, F2 is equal to W into A2 into Z2 bar. That is from the fluid mechanics, because this F2 is acting on the vertical plane, not on the horizontal plane, not on the inclined plane. So from the hydrostatic force concept in fluid mechanics, this F1 is equal to W into A1 into Z1 bar. F2 is equal to W into A2 into Z2 bar. Substitute them on the right hand side. Now look at this equation. We are neglecting this W sin theta and this friction force. F1 is equal to WA1 Z1 bar. F2 is equal to WA2 Z2 bar. So check that modification in that Newton's second law. So in that Newton's second law, I am neglecting W sin theta and this friction force. So this equation becomes as WQ V2 by Z minus WQ V1 by Z is equal to F1 minus F2. F1 is equal to WA1 Z1 bar. F2 is equal to WA2 Z2 bar. Check this steps carefully. Q is the discharge of water flow between the section 1 and section 2. And W is the unit weight of water. V1 is the velocity of water flow at section 1. V2 is the velocity of water flow at section 2. F1 is the hydrostatic force at section 1. F2 is the hydrostatic force at section 2. W is the weight of water between the section 1 and section 2. Theta is the angle made by channel bottom with horizontal. FF is the friction force at the channel bottom between the section 1 and section 2. Since from section 1 to section 2, the length of the channel is small length, neglect that W sin theta and the friction force FF. If I neglect the W sin theta and friction force, the equation 1 changes like this. Neglect this W sin theta and the friction force. So the equation becomes as WQ V2 by Z minus WQ V1 by Z is equal to F1 minus F2. We know this hydrostatic force F1 at section 1 WA1 Z1 bar. Hydrostatic force at section 2 F2 is equal to WA2 Z2 bar. A1 is the area at section 1, A2 is the area at section 2. Substitute these values in this equation 2. This equation 2 now becomes as, the equation 2 now becomes as, here in the left hand side, please check this in the left hand side. V2 is equal to, the velocity V2 is equal to Q by A2. The velocity V1 is equal to Q by A1. F1 is equal to WA1 Z1 bar. F2 is equal to WA2 Z2 bar. So modify the previous equation. So in the previous equation on the left hand side, we have W Q V2 by Z, but Q V2 is equal to Q by A2. On the left hand side, this first term, check this equation in this equation 2. On the left hand side, V2 is equal to Q by A2. V1 is equal to Q by A1. Substitute that in this left hand side. The equation 2 now becomes as WQ by Z into V2. V2 is Q by A2 minus WQ by Z into V1. V1 is Q by A1 is equal to F1 WA1 Z1 bar minus F2 WA2 Z2 bar. Then this left hand side, this equation left hand side becomes as WQ Q into Q square W into Q square by GA2 minus W into Q square by GA1 is equal to WA1 Z1 bar minus WA2 Z2 bar. Cancel this W on the left hand side and right hand side. Cancel this W, unit weight of water, in this equation on both sides. Now this equation becomes as Q square by GA2. This is the first term on the left hand side. Cancel this W in both sides. So this equation becomes as Q square by GA2 is equal to Q square by GA2 minus Q square by GA1 is equal to A1 Z1 bar minus A2 Z2 bar, because we cancel this unit weight W on the both sides. So this equation becomes as Q square by GA2 minus Q square by GA1 is equal to A1 Z1 bar minus A2 Z2 bar. Bring this minus A2 Z2 bar to the left side. It becomes positive. And bring this Q by A. So bring this minus A2 Z2 bar to the left hand side and bring this Q square by GA1 to the right hand side. This equation becomes as, so bring this Q square by GA1 to the right hand side, it becomes positive. And bring this minus A2 Z2 bar to the left hand side, it becomes positive. So this equation becomes as Q square by GA2 plus A2 Z2 bar is equal to Q square by GA1 plus A1 Z1 bar. Check this equation 3 carefully. In this equation 3, the first term on this left side is same as the first term on the right side. On the left side it is Q square by GA2. On the right side it is Q square by GA1. Check this second terms on both sides. The second terms on the both sides in the equation 3. Second term is A2 Z2 bar on the left hand side. On the right hand side it is A1 Z1 bar. So check this equation. The term on the left hand side is same as the term on the right hand side. Only the difference is this is on the section 2, this is on the section 1. That is only the difference. In both the left hand side and right hand side we have the similar terms, but on the left hand side it is section 2, on the right hand side it is section 1. So in this equation the both sides are similar. In this equation 3 the both sides are similar. Only the difference is the left hand side is section 2, the right hand side is section 1. Here we have Q square, the same Q square on the right hand side. You have Z, the same Z on the right hand side. Here we have A2, that is at section 2 area. Here we have A1, section 1 area. And the second term A2, section 2 area. A1, section 1 area. Z2 bar, Z1 bar. So the terms on both sides are similar. Only the difference is this is the section 2, this is the section 1. So you can combine this whole term on this left hand side. The whole term on this left hand side as F2. So check that equation 3. So here on the both sides, since the both sides are having the similar terms, only the difference is this is the term in the section 2, this is the term in the section 1. I am replacing this term, the whole term as F2. I am replacing this whole term as F1. So from this I will get F2 is equal to F1. So check that carefully. So here I am replacing that whole term in this left hand side as F2, this whole term. F2 is equal to F1. From this F2 is equal to F1, I can write in open channels. We have the force F is equal to Q square by ZA plus AZ bar. So in the open channel from equation 3, we can write in the open channel the generalized equation, that is small f is equal to Q square by ZA plus AZ bar. At section 2, this becomes as Q square by ZA2 plus A2 Z2 bar. At section 1, this becomes as Q square by ZA1 plus A1 Z1 bar. So from that equation 3, From this equation 3, you can write this similar terms in the form of a simple form as this f is equal to q square by za plus az bar. In this equation 4, this f is called. This f is called the specific force of water flow in the open channel. What is the 7? So please check this derivation of equation 3 by applying the Newton's second law between the section 1 and section 2, and by neglecting the weight W sin theta and the friction force in the open channel from section 1 to section 3, we got this equation 3. F1 is equal to W A1 Z1 bar, F2 is equal to W A2 Z2 bar. We simplify this equation of Newton's second law, we got this final result. So q square by ZA2 plus A2 Z2 bar is equal to q square by ZA1 plus A1 Z1 bar. In this equation 3, these two terms are similar. The left side term is equal to right side term. Since the two terms are similar, from this equation 3, we can prepare the generalized equation as f is equal to q square by ZA plus AZ bar. In this equation 4, q square by ZA plus AZ bar is considered as f. This f is called the specific force in the open channel. This f is called the specific force because in this equation 4, q square by ZA is the force acting on the open channel per unit weight. Q square by ZA is called the force acting on the water flow per unit weight of water, and AZ bar is the hydrostatic force acting on the open channel water flow per unit weight. AZ bar represents the hydrostatic force per unit weight of water. Q square by ZA represents the force acting on the water flow per unit weight of water. So in the equation 4, the first term in the right hand side is force per unit weight. The second term is also force per unit weight. So this summation q square by ZA plus AZ bar is known as the specific force acting in the water flow in open channel. So we prepare this equation 4 by using this equation 3. So by using that equation 3, by applying the Newton's second law, we prepare that equation 3. From that equation 3, we prepare the general equation for the water flow in open channel. That is f is equal to q square by ZA plus AZ bar. In this equation 4, the first term in the right side is force per unit weight. The second term is also force per unit weight. So we are calling this summation as the specific force of acting on the water flow in open channels. Okay, students, I am going to stop this concept here. In the tomorrow class also, I will explain this specific force. It is important concept. Since you are first time studying this specific force, tomorrow class also I will repeat this concept. If anybody is having doubts up to that equation 3 derivation, you please ask me. Up to this derivation of equation 3, if anybody is having the doubt in this specific force concept, you please ask me. Any doubts, students, up to that equation 3? I will explain the remaining concept in tomorrow class. Please focus up to this derivation of equation 3. So we applied the Newton's second law. for the water flow in open channel between the section 1 and section 2. First, I explain the today's class. First, I explain the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. First, I explain this derivation. Here, this P is the linear momentum of water flow in the open channel per unit time. That is equal to W QV by Z. It is also equal to W Q square by ZA. Then, by after this derivation of this linear momentum per unit time, we go to this Newton's second law. The Newton's second law states that the rate of change of linear momentum means final linear momentum per unit time minus initial linear momentum per unit time. That is called the rate of change of linear momentum of the water body in open channel is equal to the resultant of all forces acting on that water body. This is Newton's second law. Then we consider this channel portion between the section 1 and section 2. At section 1, V1 is the velocity, Y1 is the depth of flow. At section 2, V2 is the velocity, Y2 is the depth of flow. Then at section 2, the linear momentum per unit time, P2 is equal to W Q V2 by Z. Q is the discharge. So at section 2, the linear momentum per unit time, P2 is equal to W Q V2 by Z. At section 1, the linear momentum per unit time is P1 is equal to W Q V1 by Z. Between the section 1 and section 2, the forces are hydrostatic force F1, hydrostatic force F2, the weight component W sin theta, and the friction force at channel bottom. This is the resultant force. F1 minus F2 plus W sin theta minus FF friction force. So we applied the Newton's second law from section 1 to section 2 in this water flow in open channel. We got this equation of Newton's second law. Then in this equation, since this portion is a small portion, neglected the friction force, neglected this weight, then this equation becomes as WQ V2 by Z minus WQ V1 by Z is equal to F1 minus F2. From the fluid mechanics, F1 is equal to F1 hydrostatic force on this vertical plane. F1 is equal to W into A1 into Z1 bar. F2 is equal to W into A2 into Z2 bar. You know that this V2 is equal to Q by A2. V1 is equal to Q by A1. Then F1 is equal to W A1 Z1 bar. F2 is equal to W A2 Z2 bar. That is this F1 F2. Then we modify that Newton's second law equation WQ by Z into V2 Q by A2 minus WQ by Z into A1 V1 Q by A1 is equal to F1 WA1 Z1 bar minus F2 WA2 Z2 bar. Cancel this unit weight on both sides. Then this equation becomes as Q square by ZA2 minus Q square by ZA1 is equal to A1 Z1 bar minus A2 Z2 bar. Bring this A2 Z2 and Q by ZA2 one side. Bring this A1 Z1 Q by ZA1 on the other side. You will get this equation. Q square by ZA2 plus A2 Z2 bar is equal to Q square by ZA1 plus A1 Z1 bar. Check this equation. In this equation 3, we have the similar terms on both sides. Only the difference is this is the total term at section 2. This is the total term at section 1. These two are equal. So this entire total at section 2 is same as the total at section 1. Then we can summarize this equation 2. Summarize this equation 2 in single form as F is equal to Q square by ZA plus AZ bar. So check this summarization of equation 3. From the summarization of equation 3, we got this equation 4. So F is equal to Q square by ZA plus AZ bar. In this equation 4, this first term in the left side, right side, Q square by ZA is the force acting on the water flow per unit weight. AZ bar is also the force acting on the water flow per unit weight. Since these two are the forces per unit weight, we call this summation as the specific force F. This small f is the specific force acting on the water flow in open channels. Next class, I will revise this concept again. So, please move from the today's class. I am going to stop the today's class.